welcome back to Zone 4, everybody. I am Brant Fowler, aka the Gonzo Goose, and this is another installment of
Zone 4 Top 5.
Alright, so before I jump into this week's weekly Top 5, I have to apologize for not getting one up and done last week. I was a bit under the weather, had a lot going on, so I just didn't have time to pull it together. I read no book slate. So by the time I got them all read and sorted and figured out what I would rank everything, new books were already out, so I just skipped last week. But I am back this week, and I do have a new top 5, so without further ado, let's dive in with number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5 is a book that I have enjoyed since it began. I fell behind on it a little bit, but I was really excited about this issue because it featured the origin of one of the lead characters. This is a number 0 issue. This is Archer and Armstrong, number 0. And it is Archer's origins, how he came to be with the Archers, how he got his name, and all this stuff about his past and his powers and all this stuff. So it was really interesting to see it play out. The only reason that it's ranked as at 5 and not higher, because I really love this book, and I usually give it pretty high scores, is because it's the whole cult mentality thing. Pretty much, it's not completely original, but it is a character that I like, and some elements of it were original. The powers involved, of course, are original, to that story. So, but it still was a very solid book, a solid read, nice origin for the character, and great art as usual throughout this series. So that's why it lands at number 5.
Number 4.
Number 4. This was a toss-up between 3 and 4. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to be in 4 and 3. But this is a book, again, I've enjoyed this entire event, this series, since it began, and we are nearing the end of it now. This is Forever Evil, number 5. And there's only 2 more issues after this one to go. This was a really good issue. I had a lot of forward progression of different plots and characters with Luthor's whole team, how that came together and came to be, how Batman is involved in that, and we get hints at why the Crime Syndicate actually had to come here in the first place at the very end of the issue. So a lot of progression, a lot of developments in the story. Still fantastic art, really solid writing. The only reason this one's a little bit lower is it was heavy on the action, light on the plot, even though there was those developments that I mentioned, but definitely ranked in the top 5 here at number 4.
Number 3.
Number 3 is a book that has been getting mixed reviews. Even before it came out, it was getting mixed commentary from fans, and I honestly didn't know how I was going to feel about this book. It is a new number 1 issue. It's a brand new book, brand new character, and I actually liked it better once I talked to some friends of mine from Comic Frontline, and I heard their theories on what exactly happened in the book. And this is Miss Marvel, number 1. And this is the brand new character of Kamala Khan, I believe is her name. And she was born in Jersey, but she is of Arab descent, so she's battling with this identity crisis kind of stuff throughout. And that kind of plays out in a super heroic way by the end of the issue. And it flows out of this whole Inhumans thing that is going on. It's a very interesting book. The art is by Adrian Alfona, who was the artist on the first original run of Runaways, which I love that book. His art really fit there, and I think he kind of captures the energy of teenagers, and that's what this book focuses on, stars teenagers. So it was witty, it was clever, it was fun, it dealt with social issues, it was very current. So I really enjoyed it a lot more than I well, really I didn't know how I'd feel about it, so I can't really say it's more than I thought I would. But yeah, it was a really good book. So that's why Miss Marvel #1 lands at number 3.
Number 2.
Number 2 is a book that unexpectedly I really liked. When I did my whole top 25 for February on comic related, this was one of the honorable mentions. It was like one of these, okay, it sounds interesting, but it's written by J. Michael Straczynski, which I'm very, for me, he is a hit and miss writer, and more stuff of his lately has been a miss for me. So I really wasn't sure what to expect with it. But this is Apocalypse Owl #1, and it stars Allison Carter, who is, for lack of a better term, a monster hunter. It's kind of Supernatural meets the comic book world in a way. Supernatural as in the TV show. It has elements of that, but it's a little bit more overt than that. It's almost like Supernatural meets Constantine meets, I don't know what other book to throw in there, but it had some humor, had some beautiful, fantastic artwork throughout, and yet the whole issue is narrated by Al, and as she's basically her job, her tasks are to combat threats to the entire world that threaten to end the world, and that's kind of her shtick, and it goes into some different places. She's like a Tomb Raider meets Supernatural. I know I'm throwing out all these analogies, but it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what it feels like, but it is a very fun series. A lot of adventure, action, like I said, fantastic art. You got the supernatural element in it, you got the wittiness, you got just fun and adventure. It really surprised me how much I liked it, so that's why Apocalypse Owl #1 lands at number 2.
Number 1.
Alright, so the number 1 book for this week was an annual, and because of the last mini-series, I really wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this. But this is the Superior Carnage annual #1, and this follows, of course, the Superior Carnage miniseries, that involved the wizard and all that stuff. So I was, that kind of started off strong for me, and then really fell off fast and just became boring by the end, with some good elements mixed throughout. But this particular book focused completely on Cletus Cassidy and the Carnage symbiote, and how they come back together. And maybe it's the 90s nostalgia for me, because those were the Spider-Man books that I really cut my teeth on. Was the whole Venom, Carnage, that whole era of Spider-Man, of Amazing Spider-Man, and so forth. And this kind of harkened back to that. This was the Carnage that I've been waiting to see for a long, long time, and I really, really enjoyed this book. This was a fantastic book. Great art throughout it. The writing was solid. The plot made sense. How they came to be. What happened to each of them on their journey to find each other again. It was just a fantastic book, and it kind of blew me away. I would give it a 5 out of 5 for me. So Superior Carnage annual #1 lands at #1. So there you have the top 5 for the week of books coming out on February 5th, 2014. Yeah, 14. I forgot what year it was. So hope you enjoyed that, and let me know if you agree or disagree, or what your top 5 are for the week in the comments below. And yeah, so I will be back next week, barring any major disaster or major cold again, with another top 5 for you. Until then, check out Zone 4 every Friday on zone4podcast.com, comicrelated.com, comicspodcast.com, iTunes, Stitcher, and as of this Friday, with episode 256, we will also be on Comic Frontline, which launches today, by the way. If you are a fan of the stuff I've done on Dark Avenger Inc. and everybody else over there, Comic Frontline officially launches tonight with a live show at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please tune in and support the show, because this is our big launch party. We got surprises, we got all kinds of cool stuff we're going to talk about, so tune into that and subscribe to youtube.com/comicfrontline. And while you're at it, if you have not subscribed to Zone 4, please do that as well, so you'll get these weekly top 5s in your sub box each and every week. And check out comicrelated.com, updating 365 days a year with multiple updates a day. We're really branching out, doing some different stuff, brought on some new content recently, and we're still adding more, so please check that out as well. So I think that's going to wrap everything up, so until next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production.